Greetings, folks. It's the 13th of March, Thursday. I've got a good cup of cinnamon nut swirl, finally, since being sick. Cheers. That lets me know I'm well on the mend. Still have a nagging cough that just pops up all of a sudden, and then it's gone. Doing well. How's everyone doing? I'm doing pretty well. Started this morning by watching the In Grooves. Every Thursday he does a new release video for tomorrow, for Friday, showing new releases. It's just part of a routine. um, Mike's taste in music is completely different from mine. I just like the guy through his videos. Never met him. So not as much music was played yesterday because I'm preparing for a gig a week from tomorrow. A week from Saturday. And interestingly, I slept really good last night, so I only have one night listen. I only had to get up once. And because I slept so good, when I got up, I could hardly remember what I'd listened to, so I played it again. This artist sent some of his work to me. What year was that? 2013. So this is what I listened to last night. Black Swan. Drones for Bleeding Hearts in 8 movements. So this is drone, and it's really well done. I can see why I fell asleep, because it's a drone. I mean, it really is. And I dropped off consciousness while it was playing. So when I listened back this morning, for a little while I was thinking, okay, this is just going on, and is this all it's going to do? But because I'm in bed, it developed, and I listened to the whole thing, and it starts off kind of cavernous, and like kind of foggy, like the sound is coming like through like a subway or some place underground, and it seemed like that's all it was going to do. And then it developed into these strings and this clarity. It's still droning, but it's like then all of a sudden there's all these chords, and really quite nice. Then it submerges again, and then it emerges in a whole nother place. So this is really rather quite good. They sent me several titles, a couple on vinyl too. I have to revisit those. It's been a while. Black Swan in 8 movements. Yes, I can recommend this. Now, of the music, I pulled some vinyl just to show. I haven't played any of it yet. I might play some today. When I put the Attila back in the A section out in the living room, these caught my attention. I said, well, let me show those and see what comes up. This was fantastic. Didn't know that I would listen to every single piece on this. I was talking about some classical music a while back where I mentioned Zoltan Kodaly and couldn't remember the other composer. This is the one I was thinking of in reference to that piece. I forget what it was, but Conlon Nancaro, do you know his work? This is the world premiere recording of Continuum, plus several other pieces for orchestra, chamber, and piano. This is killer. I love classical music, but this is that sort of stuff where it's loaded with melody and movement. The piece for number 1 for small orchestra, then the toccata for violin and player piano. This is really good. Sonatina for piano. I didn't read to get the backstory on here, and it's in here. Conlon Nancaro as a composer, early 20th century. Interesting man. When I think of him, I think of piano pieces, but this shows that he was quite the composer. And this stuff was written back in 1945, except for the last piece. Piece number 2 for small orchestra was written in 1986. Real good. For any of you folks that are interested in delving into classical music, but you don't, I recommend this. And for you classical listeners who probably already know, you know. Killer. I listened to a little bit of this piano music because I just felt like it, and then it surprised me because part 2 is a full band. Ketil Bjornstad, Water Stories with Terje Rypdal, John Christensen, Per Hillstad, Bjorn Kjellmeyer. So it's like it starts off blue ice to glacier, but then part 2 is approaching the sea and things heat up. There's even a part that's downright psychedelic. Don't even sound like piano jazz. This is very good. Ketil Bjornstad. In all the years of buying ECM, I can only think of one rare album that's disappointing, and that's The Epidemics. I think I got that right. It's so bad I remember it that quick, which means if I still have it, I ought to play it again. I think I do. Hadn't played this in ages. Bill Nelson, Quit Dreaming and Get on the Beam. And it sounds a bit 80s. This is 1986. There's an edge to Bill Nelson's writing when he's doing the rock things. It's kind of like he's going crazy, like he's almost a madman. There's like this, I think the right word is frenetic engine energy, and he's very creative. Have you seen the video for the single from this, Do You Dream in Color? I love Bill Nelson, great artist. Now here is something that just sits there, and I finally said, "Boy, I haven't listened to this in a long time." And this was a fun excursion. This is a single, but the 2 discs combined, it's a whole album. The Orb, Blue Room. Remember when this came out? The hype about the longest single in history. I'm pretty sure that was the hype. Double disc. The main track, Blue Room, on this disc is 39 minutes and 58 seconds, basically 40 minutes. And it just grooves along. Yep, 40 minutes. Very enjoyable. Sweet ride. And then the second disc is some remixes and a dub of Blue Room. Killer shit. I love the Orb. I noticed from the very beginning the difference in how they record and layer the ambient stuff in their music. It just makes it sound really cinematic, really big and spacious and awe-striking. It's like it strikes wonder. Okay, that's what I listened to yesterday. Besides, I'm gonna try something different for my upcoming guest appearance with other musicians. One of the other musicians is Stacy Barrelos. avant-garde composer and pianist, and she only plays toy pianos, and she can work it out. It's like, maybe you've heard of her, Stacy Bareilles. Looking forward to playing. I've done shows where we've been on the same bill, but I've never played with her. So I'm looking forward to those possibilities. Working on some techniques of producing sound with the bass that have nothing to do with just playing it. So I pulled some records just to show. None of these I've played in recent times except for one. I'll start here though. Let me open this. Leon Russell is very well known. He was part of the Wrecking Crew. He was, and then besides that, he's done everything with everyone. Mad Dogs and Englishmen, you name it. But he had this band called Asylum Choir with Mark Benno. They have 2 albums. I just have this one. And it's, there you go. It shows you this is back in the days of pop, rock, and psychedelia coming together. This is good. And this is psychedelic, among other things. But I have to play this. It's been a while. On the Smash label, which was part of Mercury Records out of Chicago. When I was a kid, I didn't realize that, because back when we were getting a lot of product in the 70s, Mercury Records, a lot of Mercury Records, and that's why it's just down the street. Literally, Chicago's just up the way. Here's 2. This is jazz rock and very, very fiery. Association PC, Erna Morena, live. This is killer shit here with Toto Blanc and Jasper Van Toff, Siggy Bush, and Pierre Courbois in particular. That's the band, but all of those guys are major, major players. There they are. Germany. Killer shit. Well, I'm not sure where Van Toff is from, but I think this is recorded in Freiburg, which could be Switzerland. I'm not sure. I think that's Germany. That sounds familiar. I think I've been there. Killer. Here's another one where I had it, sold it, not that long ago, found it, another copy. Thank God. Rock Around Mama Cuckoo is this one. There's another one that I like to get. Live with Jeremy Steig as a guest on flute. This is smoking hot. Smoking hot. I love this label too. MPS BASF. Most perfect sound. I have a DVD documentary about the label. Very interesting. And it's because of music lovers like the guy who started this label that we have this amazing stuff. This guy in Germany lived in the Black Forest area. He just loved jazz. So we'd have the musicians come to his house after shows in the clubs and started recording them. Thank goodness. High quality stuff. Next to that, in the A's, I'm just going to keep going. Atlantide, Prague. Is this German? Italian. This is a reissue. It was on Crypto originally. It's on the replica, Musea Replica. And I'd have to play this. It's one that I always liked the cover. I just always remember it. I think this is good. I still have it, but I haven't played this in a while. For this next prog band from France, really like these guys, and I have all their albums between these two albums and burned CDs. Always on the lookout for more actual copies. Atoll, Atoll, Tercio. This is that good old European keyboard-oriented prog with a dramatic lead singer. It's in French, so I don't know what he's going on about, but he's giving it his all, and the band is really good. The writing on this is good. The playing and the writing, and I'm just starting to show the labels because I can tell that I can tell by other videos that people like to see the labels. Eurodisc, I like to see the labels. You know, when I was a little boy, that was part of my fascination. People thought I was retarded. They really did, actually, up until I was about 7, that I broke through. But I'd sit there and just stare at the label going round and round, like it, kind of like a, I guess I looked like a moron, you know. I'm sitting there, I'm looking at the label while I'm listening, but I'm looking at the label go round. I was just a kid, you know what I'm saying? I am glad that was me as a nerd, rather than a football. And that's not a put down, that's just saying. My brothers were way into football. I played with them, but then they got into the organized sports stuff, and I couldn't fathom it. Why? It didn't make any sense to me. I would always return to the records and the music. But when it comes to football, I could run. And I like to run. I like to catch the ball and run. Here's my other album. This is a reissue. I love these graphics. Musicians, Magicians. Atoll. Love that color scheme, the yellow. This is black vinyl, but there is a yellow vinyl version. I don't need it, but it's like I did see after I got this reissue that they did do a vinyl, colored vinyl version. I really like this album. Not necessarily better than the other one, another one, Replica. Together they work, and you can hear a progression from one to the other. I love that cover. Musicians, magicians. And this is another one where the singer, well, again, it's human nature. And yet still, I think it's also a little funny how men in all types of music will want to go into the falsetto thing, trying to sound like a woman or just real high. And it's like, what's that really about? Last thing I'll show is I just have a few of her records. I like them all. But I particularly like this album. Pete Townshend's niece, Virginia Astley. And this is brilliant. Hope in a Darkened Heart, produced by Ryuichi Sakamoto, with David Sylvian as guest vocalist on a few songs, at least one. This is gorgeous, gorgeous. I could almost call it chamber pop, but that's not right. It's that, like, cut above is the way I would put it. It's like there's an elegance to this. She got her own custom label for this. Every song. And she has a light kind of voice. And it's very sing-songy. I love it. So I have this album. She probably has more than one album. This is the only album I have. And then I was able to find these singles over the years. Love's a Lonely Place to Be. Virginia Astley. And then here's a single from the album, Some Small Hope. And then non-LPB sides. That captures it. the sound, that portrait, the way it looks painted. Some Small Hope, really good. And I have this other one, this last one, Tender by Virginia Astley. And this is on Elektra. I don't know if those others are on Elektra. That's some good stuff for you people. That's what I have to share today. And it is a pleasure to share with the world my primary obsession, which is good music. Not just music, but good music. And also music that's kind of off the beaten path. I do check in and watch a little bit of a lot of other people's videos. Usually I don't end up staying very long. There are a lot of people, though, with interesting collections besides me, with obscure and interesting records besides me. But I'm consistently showing stuff that I don't think I've seen anyone else show, and that's fun. Okay, let's make it a good one, everyone, family too.